Okay, so good morning, everyone. So, for this class, we'll look at a subject which is valid breakout and invalid breakout. That's what we're looking at this morning, and also, um, yep, also, I want you to practice other blocks and identification of other blocks. Do more practice and send me the work. So, do more practice and send to me, basically. So, yeah, we've been talking about a lot of things, but let's just make this class brief and then watch it. And also, yeah, so we're looking at breakouts, breakouts, types of breakouts. Let me get my notes so we can. The phone is low. So let's look at so our topic before us today is breakouts. We're looking at breakout. Breakout is a very important concept in trading. So it's a very important. It's a simple one, but important also. So breakout. Now, um, breakout. Let us define it. Breakout happens when price goes above or below a zone. So, for instance, if we have a second let wow. So, for instance, if we have a zone here like this, and then we have another zone here. Now, if price is here and then price goes below this zone, you can see. So this is the zone. Let me even do it much more better. So this is two breakouts. So you can see in this case, the zone here is, you can see price respecting the zone and then price broke down. This is called a breakdown. This is called a markup or a breakup. Anyone? I don't want to use the word breakup, so it doesn't sound like relationship kind of stuff. But then this is a breakdown, and then this is a markup. So you can see price. So whenever price breaks above, I mean, I mean, yes, yes. I'm just using it for exercises. Just take for instance that probably you map out this zone like this, and then you say okay. So you can see price breaking downwards, it means breakdown. Price breaking upward, it means markup. All together. Yeah. No, no. Yes, yes. No, I'm just giving like how, like forms of breakout, like how price can break out. So price can either break out to the upside or to the downside. Okay. And so let's look at types of breakout. Types. Number one, we have valid break. Valid break. Types of, so number one, we have valid break. Number two, so let's take the valid break. How do you know valid break? Characteristics. So characteristics of a valid break. Number one, we see multiple candles outside, or let's say multiple candles after the break. Multiple candles after the break. So I recommend at least three candles below or above the zone. So I recommend three candles at least below or above the zone. So the most valid way, there are a lot of ways to know a valid breakout, but the most valid way to know a valid breakout is to recognize, or when we spot multiple candles after the breakout. So I recommend at least three candles either above the zone or three candles below the zone. That's my recommendation. Together. Then number two, let's so we have more candles with body close, with body. So we have more candles with bodies, and yep, more candles with body close above or below the zone. Yep. Then first breakout, first breakout or a first break, kata V6. Number one, where we have more wicks, or let's use this word, price breaks out with the wick of the candle, the wick of the candle. Number two, price goes back into the zone after breakout. So I'm going to. So these are two characteristics. So basically, a false breakout is anything that is not the valid breakout. Basically, the false breakout is anything that is not the valid breakout. Are we together, sir? Okay, so let me explain what I'm going to talk about. So I said that a valid breakout is when price breaks breaks with multiple candles after the breakout, and I recommend at least three candles. And then we have more candles with body close above or below the zone. Number two, false breakout. The characteristics is when price breaks out with the wicks of the candles. And number two, price goes into the zone after breakout. So let me show you a false breakout, and we'll look at it practically. But let's say this is a zone. So I have this zone. I'm going to show you false breakout and valid breakout or more. So let me show you the examples. Price breaks out. We have one candle, second candle, third candle. Are you seeing it now? This was referred to as valid breakout. It is referred to as false breakout. Let me do the one for markup. One candle, yeah. So Yeah, so you can see it. Yeah, so we have, you can see my screen very visible. Yep, so you can see the two types of breakout here. You can see the valid breakout for this bearish side, price broke out, and then we have one candle, two candles, three candles below the zone. And then you can see that in this case, price breaks out. The moment price breaks out, price push back into the zone. The same thing here, price breakouts, we have multiple candles after the zone and price. That's a valid breakout, but here price breaks out, but then price push back into the zone. So this is just an illustration of valid breakouts and invalid breakouts before we go to look at it for before we go to look for particles in the chart. Do you understand it, sir? Um, okay, so yeah, so zones that you can use, like for instance, your point of interest, probably your order block, your supply or demand. These are zones. Your, if you remember during the beginners class, during the beginners class, so during the beginners class, we talked about support and resistance. That is a zone also. We also talked about what's it called? Um, Trend lines. That's a zone also. So support and resistance is one of the zones that you can map. Um, Trend lines is also another zones that you can map. So these are just zones. So I just listed about three zones. Number one, I said order blocks, demand, supply. Those are zones. Number two, trend lines. Number three, support and resistance. These are also zones that can be mapped. Are we together, sir? Yes. Yes. Now you can see other block. You can see trend line, you can see support and resistance, just for you to be able to know how to map it out. And that's the reason why we taught these things. So if you can map out your support and resistance, you can map it in any chart. If you can map out your trend line, you can map it in any chart. If you can map out your other blocks, you can also map it in any chart. So um let's dive into the live chart and let's do some practice. Okay, so yep, let's go to the live chart. So let's take GBP USD. I don't know why I'm going to love this pair, GBP USD. So let's take GBP USD for example. Sorry. So let's say I had an uptrend. This is a trend line, for instance, previous trend line on GBP USD. Now you can see the trend line is used to know when price is in an uptrend, and you can see it price kept respecting the trend line. Now in this scenario here, this is on the 2 hours time frame. This is a trend line, an uptrend line. So in this scenario here, we had both a break, a false breakout and a valid breakout. Now let's take for instance the valid breakout. You can see price keeps, okay, let's do the false breakout first. So you can see price views the trend line up, and you can see price bouncing off the trend line, and you can see price coming, and price goes down a little bit below the trend line and pushes up. Time for the 1 hour time frame so that you can see it probably well, much more better. Yep. So can you see a false breakout here? Let me identify the spot for you. That place where I circled, can you see a false breakout with just the wick? If you remember, when we did candle anatomy, we said that every candle is divided into two sections, the body and the wick. The wick is those ones that look like line, and the body are those thick parts. So you can see the body of the candle going below the zone. So that is a false breakout. Do you understand, sir? So sharp, very good. This is what kind of breakout is this also? This one I'm mapping out here. What kind of breakout is that? Down here. Very good, very good. I love the fact that you're following. So now I want to ask a question, a very technical one. What kind, you can then see price respecting the trend line, but at this point we see price breaking out of the trend line massively. So what kind of breakout is this that we see here? Hold on. Hold on. I said that a valid breakout, we have what? Multiple candles after the breakout, and I recommend at least three candles. Now, look at this first breakout here. You can see that the candles that broke out of the zone are not even up to two or probably three, it's just one. But then look at this guy. How many candles can we see here? Multiple candles. So this is a valid breakout. Yeah, this is a valid. Yeah, very correct. So this is a valid breakout. Now, you said yes. Now, yeah. So let me add to our notes. Let's add to our notes. Note. Let's on a very silent quote. So note, if we see if we see a valid breakout, we anticipate we anticipate a retest to the anticipate a retest to the broken level or zone. So let me explain it here with this diagram so we can see a valid breakout here in this case. So this is the breakout. We anticipate price to push up. This is the retest and then come down again. So this is retest. You can see the retest. And then the same thing for here. Price broke up, we anticipate price to come down to the zone and then push up. So you can also see the retest here. Do you understand? It's a yes, it's a retest. Yes, it's called a retest. Now look at this example here. I was trying to point your attention to. You can see a valid break, right? So it means that this when price went back up inside, it's a what? Retest. Do you understand? Yeah. So I expect price to most likely sell down to this place. So that's it. So this is this is a trend line case. Excuse me. And in this trend line right here, we had two false breakouts with one valid breakout. Am I right? Okay, so let's look for more examples. Yes, yes, very correct. So let's look for more examples. Now, this is, let's take for instance that this is a support, so a past resistance in price, past resistance in price. This breakout here, this breakout here, is this a false breakout or a valid breakout? Yeah. Into the zone. Yeah, yeah, very correct. You are correct, very, very correct. Are we together? So we have another zone here. Now, this breakout, we have this zone here, this resistance here, this here, this tiny wick that broke out here is a what? First breakout, right? Then this one here is a what? This big guy here that happened. You can later see price coming again to that zone. This big guy that happened here is a what? Yeah, yeah. So that's a valid breakout, and then you can see price doing a what? So you can see after the breakout, price made a retest and continued upward. Are you seeing it? Okay, so correct. So let's see if we can spot more examples. So we have one here. In this case, it's a support. So this breakout here, is that a valid breakout or an invalid breakout? Yeah, thank you very much. Very correct. So let's see if we can take probably like two more and wrap it up for today. So let's go back in chart data and let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is a resistance. So this breakout here, is it a false breakout or a valid breakout? Yeah, very correct. So you are very, in fact, you are super correct. Super correct. Very correct today. And that's where price is reacting from. Price made a false breakout and price has dropped back into the zone. So we might just see price keeps going down. So yeah, I think you really understand this concept of breakout and valid breakout. Any question? Okay, so I want you to practice this concept of valid of breakouts, and please send me examples all together. I need like pictorial examples of you of your practice work, screenshots and send to me. Okay, so yeah, it was really an awesome and easy class today, and I really hope that you were able to take something home from the class. So please practice, and then please say I'm coming.